Football on Off the Ball.
With Paddy Power, the greatest football partnership since Shearer and Owen.
Yeah, you're very welcome back. It is Thursday night. It is Halloween. Delighted to say joined in studio a man who has braved the bonfires and the bangers and all that kind of stuff around Dublin town to come into us tonight. It is the one and only John Giles. John, you're very welcome to the studio.
Thanks, Richie.
It's an interesting night out there, I'll say that much. It's we've kind of heard it was like 1916 when we were here. The windows open, those bangers all going off across from us here.
That's where you are, Richie.
That's the thing. You'll be in a slightly more gentrified and quiet area than I will be, John. That's the problem. We'll start with what was, I don't think anybody really has great expectations for Carabao Cup games or League Cup games or whatever you want to call them, especially as you always have this idea that, you know, big clubs are going to field younger players, they're going to, you know, have a rake of changes, 10, 11 changes in some instances. Last night, I knocked it out of the park for absolutely everybody. We'll start with events at Anfield. I know you were looking at that one last night yourself. 5-5 after 90 plus minutes. 5-4 on penalties with Irish goalkeeper Caoimhín Gallagher after letting in 5, proven to be the hero. If nothing else, it was fantastic entertainment.
Yeah, it depends what way you look on it, Richie. You know, like you see some great games, can be no-score games. You can see games like 5-5. Certainly, if they're 5-5 games, they have to be entertaining. But again, it depends what way you look on it. Like really, in a great game, you don't get 5-5. There has to be a lot of mistakes.
An old Italian quip saying the perfect game is 0-0 because there's been no mistakes.
Well, as we know, over the years, the Italians were famous for their good defensive work, and they took great pride in no-score draws more than anybody else. I don't think it was. I think they enjoyed a 1-1 as well. But I think, you know, if you look back on the game, there have to be certain goals in it that shouldn't have happened. But obviously, there's goal scoring makes it exciting, and especially in Liverpool's case when they were coming back from being behind most of the match. Anyway, but from looking at it from Liverpool's point of view, Richie, I thought it was a very, very good night for them.
Yeah, we have to kind of look at it in its own box because we'll figure that they're not going to have a back four that has 3 teenagers in it going forward anytime soon. Caoimhín Gallagher is not going to probably appear until the next round of this competition. But for the very fact that there is an atmosphere around the club that suggests they don't know when they're beaten. When they're 2-0, when they were 4-2 down, they bought back 4-4.
It's more important than that. The players that came in last night were very, very good.
Okay.
Right, the young players that came in, I have the names of Williams, the fullback.
Nico, yeah, young Welsh lad.
It was Carter, the goalkeeper, did well despite the fact he lost 5 goals. Jones, Curtis Jones, I think he looked he came on as a sub, but he looked really, really good.
He's very well thought of apparently at the club.
I'd say so.
Yeah, he's
now
very
I'm
well
only going from what I see last night. I don't know the lads at all, but I'd say from was an Elliott playing for them as well?
Harvey Elliott, 16 years of age, John.
Yeah. Like, you know, but they were good. They weren't like you could say, well, for 16 he did well. He just did well
generally, yeah.
You know, and it was very encouraging because, like, from Liverpool last weekend in the match against Spurs, for example, I thought were very, very good in terms of they went the goal down early on, as we know, but they played and played and played, and they reminded me of Manchester United at the best. When you had Fergie time. You know, Fergie time was Fergie time because they'd be losing a goal. But what was great about Fergie time was that they kept doing the right things, because a lot of people get panicky to start knocking the ball in the box. But to continue to do the right things takes a lot. And the manager has to insist on that happening. And that happened to Manchester United. And it reminded me last week of Manchester United at the best at a time when Liverpool lost the goal early on but kept playing and kept playing and got it. And then last night was another plus for them, in my opinion, with the young lads that they brought into that team, the manner in which they played, the maturity they showed for young players. It was really, really good. And again, from Arsenal's point of view, you know, at the moment, Arsenal will always find a way, Richie,
to lose a match.
And they did it. They did it last night as well. But that's not taking anything away from Liverpool. I thought they were excellent in the game.
It's kind of the best of both worlds for Liverpool at the moment, because ultimately what they want to do this year is win the Premier League. It would be the first time in 30 years that they've won a title. It would be huge for them. But they now have this other strand going on whereby the first team are performing really well, potential Premier League winners. But underneath, you have bubbling now these 16, 17, 18-year-olds that not only are promising, but should they be required and called upon, they're ready.
Yeah, well, that's how you build a dynasty. Yeah. You know, because you get like Mourinho was great at what he did for Chelsea and that. But he didn't really build anything, Richie. And I'm not taking anything away because what he did was brilliant. But when he left those clubs that he won the Champions League with, there wasn't an awful lot there to continue. Like in Klopp's place now, what's he there, 4 years, 4.5 years?
5 years now, yeah.
Or 5 years now. So he's not obviously just concentrating on the first team, whatever way they're doing it, and we don't know, but what it does show manifests itself on the pitch, whatever you're going to do, and it's manifests itself in the right way, because there's obviously a lot of thought, a lot of good coaching going into these young players, along with what the first team is doing.
They're not just an afterthought.
No.
Yeah.
And what can happen there, Richie, like it's happened with, say, the Busby Bears going back years and years, you could introduce one at a time, and they're coming into a good team, you know? And that's how you build a dynasty. Because if you go back to Ferguson's time, 92, like everybody thought he was making a big mistake bringing in the young lads. One or two people said you win nothing with.
I mean, Alan Hansen famously said it after they lost. I think it was a 3-0 in the opening day to Aston Villa, and everybody thought after seeing this side with like Beckham and the Neville brothers were in at that stage, and Nicky Butt, Paul Scholes were knocking around, and people thinking Giggs was already established and he was probably on 21, 22. Yeah. But thinking that if you throw them in on master screw.
But the background to that was, Richie, I think they won the league.
They'd won youth cups. They won the FA.
Not Man U. I think had won the league the year before.
Yeah.
And there was these big changes to bring these young fellas in. I thought he was making a mistake at the time, for what it's worth. I thought, well, there's too many young fellas coming into it. But it shows you how brave he was and how right he was to do what he did. And we're only relating that to Klopp at the moment. That, you know, we don't see these players, young fellas, unless it's like it was last night and they're playing them in the what was the old League Cup. Is it Carabao?
Carabao now, yeah. It's an energy drink, John.
Is it?
Stuff that I wouldn't even touch, yeah.
But I mean, I think Klopp was complaining there's too many matches there. But it is a great opportunity to put these young fellas in at this level and know they can do it. Yeah. It's a great thing for Liverpool and for the club. You know, they could go on and win whatever they're going to win this year or not. But the fact is that these lads are coming through as well, and you only have to juice 1, 2. I know Ferguson did 4 or 5 of them, which was very brave. But in Klopp's case, like, he only has to juice 1 or 2 at a time to come into a successful team, which is even easier for the young lads to come into the full team than it was last night, because they're playing with, you know, mature players and experienced players. So it was very good from Liverpool. From Arsenal's point of view, not good, Richie. Really,
Their starting 11 would have seen more game time. The likes of Martinelli, who again was brilliant last night, scored a couple last night. He scored a good few goals in the Europa League. Maitland-Niles, etc. It's a young side, but they've seen more game time this time round. But again, it seems endemic of what's going on at the club at the moment, whereby even at 4-2 up, even at 5-4 with 93 minutes played,
they're not secure.
No. And that's a worry.
Well, they got the thing going on over Xhaka as well, Rich. You know, we have to go back to that like last week.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that a little bit later.
Well, what I find extraordinary about Arsenal with Emery is that he had this thing of 5 captains, was it?
A leadership group.
A leadership group. Well, you know, you don't have a leadership group in the club, to be quite honest. And I read in the paper this morning that some of the lads in that group were not happy about Emery and his response to Xhaka. You know, well, Xhaka behaved very, very badly and has behaved badly on the pitch for a long time now. But the thing is that the players are complaining about the way he's being treated. I mean, when you're the manager of a club, you're the manager, you're the boss, you tell the players who's captain. You don't have a squad of captain, because the squad of captain is usually somebody voting for somebody that they like. You know? There should be no likes and no likes and not likes with a manager. A manager's the manager. He doesn't get that close to the players, and he's the boss. Yeah. And he this is the captain. This is what I'm making the captain.
I'll get to the specifics of the Xhaka situation in a minute, because he's actually put out a statement while we're speaking here about that. Yeah. But just on the role of captaincy itself. Yeah. Like in 2019, is it still a big role within a side? The role of captain? Well,
it's usually exaggerated. I think it's been exaggerated over the years, to be quite honest, Richie, because the main thing of any captain is to do his own stuff. In other words, the best thing a captain can do for the team is to play well. And you get lads who are shouting and bawling and they're not playing well themselves. That can happen, but it's usually somebody in the dressing room that you can trust, that has the respect of the players as a player, for example. Now, with the Arsenal situation, I can't see how the Arsenal players can have much respect for Xhaka, because he's one of the most undisciplined players I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, well, with that in mind, we'll read the statement he's put out.
Okay.
He put out, and this has come via Arsenal's account, so he's clearly written this himself, and the club have decided to pass it on. He says, after taking some time to reflect on what happened on Sunday afternoon, I'd like to give you an explanation rather than just a quick response. The scenes that took place around my substitution have moved me deeply. I love this club and always give 100% on and off the pitch. My feeling of not being understood by fans and repeated abusive comments at matches and in social media over the last weeks and months have hurt me deeply. People have said things like, we will break your legs, kill your wife, and wish that your daughter gets cancer. That has stirred me up, and I reached boiling point when I felt the rejection in the stadium on Sunday. In this situation, I let myself be carried away and reacted in a way that disrespected the group of fans that support our club, our team, and myself with positive energy. That has not been my intention, and I'm sorry that's what people thought. My wish is that we get back to a place of mutual respect, remembering why we fell in love with this game in the first place. Let's move forward positively together. That's Granit Xhaka's statement.
It's a bit self-serving, I think, to be honest, Richie. I mean, like when you're a professional footballer, Richie, you don't be lauded every week.
You don't be lauded every week, but you shouldn't have to put up with people wishing that your kid gets cancer and saying, kill your wife.
Of course not. I mean, nobody likes that. But I think when you're a professional footballer, Richie, you will get louts who will do that. But it doesn't give you a licence either, Richie, to be walking off and take your jersey off and tell the supporters to fuck off. It doesn't give you a licence to do that, right? You can walk off the pitch with your own dignity and be very annoyed about it and make the statement afterwards that it's very cruel what people do. But what he actually did as a professional footballer, and who was he telling to F off? I mean, there was 50, 60,000 people in the ground, and he's... like people, and what people will tell you too, look, this is your living, this is our entertainment, this is what we do. I'm not saying it's right for anybody to do abusive things. Unfortunately, that's the way of the world today with the social media, as you know. He's not the only one that gets that abuse. Everybody apparently gets that abuse, no matter what you're doing. But it would be from the minority of people. But if you're a professional footballer, and he was taken off the pitch, and there was nobody, when he was first going off, having a go at him. You know, it built up all right.
That's what he's saying. It's saying this is a culmination of factors that essentially the lid blew off the pot, essentially, at that stage.
We know that, but when you watch him as a player, Richie, I haven't seen a match where the lid didn't blow off the top of him. You know, I'm talking about as a professional footballer.
If you're in the yellow cards market of a Saturday afternoon, you're bound to bet on Xhaka.
Well, he's one of the most indisciplined, if that's the right word, indisciplined players I've ever seen. And I think what he should have done was give an apology straight away, because he behaved. Other people have behaved badly, I know, and it has upset him, but he behaved badly, right?
Yeah.
And like he's in a job too. I know money doesn't mean everything, Richie. But it means a lot to a professional footballers being paid 100, 150 grand a week, and the supporters are paying in. They're not entitled to give family. Yeah. But as a player walking off the pitch and he hasn't played well, they are entitled to show their feelings. Okay. And I think the apology is a bit iffy, to be quite honest. I think I'd prefer him to say what I did was wrong. End of story.
Okay. For those who weren't out trick-or-treating, we'll just a quick apology for the language there, because...
Well, I must apologise as well. I was only saying what he said, what I shouldn't.
You're quoting, John. You're quoting. But regardless, yeah.
Apologies from me.
There you go. That's John, from the mouth of John Giles himself. We'll have more on the Carabao Cup action, and indeed a little look ahead as well with John to the Cup final by means of a look back after these.
Football on Off the Ball.
With Paddy Power, the greatest football partnership since Shearer and Owen.
Future-proof.
For the most part, human beings' skulls haven't changed in nearly 300,000 years. But 250 years ago, something strange started to happen with our mouths. A team of scientists now believe that this change may be a major factor in why we sleep, eat and feel a lot worse than our ancestors. Find out more this Saturday on Future-Proof.
Future-proof.
Proudly supported by Science Foundation Ireland.
This Saturday from 12.
On News Talk.
I'm picking up intense notes of fig and sour cherries. Oh yeah, there's a complex bouquet of blue cheese, notes of old leather, very new world. Oh, followed by shades of damp forest floor. Frank, how long did you leave the shirt in the washing machine?
Leave your laundry to the professionals. The new Laundry app collects and delivers your dry cleaning anywhere in Dublin until 10 p.m. every night. Laundry. Drop the Y and add a .ie.
Over 2 centuries, one family business in Dublin has earned a name for excellence in funeral care. Every day they continue to work hard to retain that good name. The name is Fannigan's. Dubliners trust Fannigan's to take care of them on their final journey with empathy, compassion and dignity. And Fannigan's never forget whose journey it is. In over 200 years, some things don't change. Fannigan's, when your thoughts are with them, ours are with you. The Fannigan Group includes Carnegie's, Kirwins and Nichols.
When you're looking for car finance, the word you really want to hear is yes. Ask Bluestone Motor Finance, and it could come sooner than you think. With most applications approved in minutes, our yes can quickly become your yes. We're Bluestone, the motor finance people. Search Bluestone to get started today. Bluestone Motor Finance. Yes! Terms and conditions apply.
It's
At Renault, we're on a mission to drive down carbon emissions. So we created Renault Carbon Rewards, rewarding you for choosing a cleaner car with savings of €3,500 guaranteed on the all-new Renault Clio. For more rewards across our cleaner Renault range, visit Renault.ie or drop into your local Renault dealer today. Finance is made under a hire purchase agreement. Terms and conditions apply. Deposit required subject to lending criteria. See Renault.ie.
Once upon a time, in a land not far away, Kildare village lit up with enchanted lights, and people hurried out into the crisp, dark night to explore streets full of magic and wonder. Amazing light projections, hypnotic installations, 100 dazzling brands to make light work of Christmas gifts. The spectacular, free, enchanted lights experience at Kildare Village, not just once upon a time, but every day, starting tomorrow at 6 p.m. Find out more at kildarevillage.com.
Experience the wicked adventures at Tato Park, Ireland's newest and biggest family Halloween event. Capture the imagination of young and old this Halloween with fun interactive games, storytelling and magic shows. Step inside the witch's lair, journey through the mysterious pumpkin land. Take a break from the thrilling attractions to learn breakdancing and zombie zumba in the Wicked Wizard's lair. The Wicked Adventures at Tato Park, October 26th to November 1st. Book now at tatopark.ie.
Barefoot Pilgrimage, the compelling and honest memoir from legendary musician Andrea Corr.
My book is a personal reflection on my life as I've lived it so far. A story I felt compelled to write following loss and grief. From my childhood days in Dundalk to an unlikely worldwide journey with my brother and sisters. Barefoot Pilgrimage is my love song to family, to creativity. It's a story of deep gratitude and hope.
Barefoot Pilgrimage by Andrea Corr is out now at all good bookshops.
Football on Off the Ball.
Welcome back. Between us, we'll try and keep this clean over the course of the next 10 minutes or so. You were impressed. I know you were watching back the game because the two of them ran simultaneously last night. You watched back Chelsea and Manchester United. There's some green shoots for United of you know, a bit of hope.
I'll tell you what happened, I think, Richie, that most of the Chelsea and Liverpool and played younger players. So did Manchester United. But they're the regular players.
They've been forced into it over the past while.
I mean, the team that Solskjaer picked was his strongest team, in my opinion. And probably, the way they played, probably the best team. You know, they had Lingard up front with
Rashford.
Rashford.
A brilliant free kick, yeah.
And I think that's probably the best attacking duo in that particular part of the field. I thought they played well, man. I mean, obviously the second goal from Rashford was unbelievable.
It's great to see him growing into this role now.
He is, yeah, but I think he needs Lingard up with him.
Link man.
And I think with the other teams, see, I don't think Solskjaer can afford to play what we regard as a weakened team. And the weakened teams at the moment, let's say it was Liverpool, were the young lads coming in. But if you look at the Manchester United team, it's a very young team, Richie, anyway. So it wasn't as if he was playing the youngsters, because that's what he's got. But they were very good.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair to Lampard did put a few young fellas in. He had a few
experienced. There was experienced players in there too,
as well. But But I'd say it was a regular Manchester United team. I don't think, for example, if he's playing his best team at the weekend, I'd say that'd be the team.
Yeah.
And they were very good. I thought the young fullback was
Brandon Williams.
Was very good.
He's only 19. I think he only turned 19 back in September, so last month. But he's been thrown in the last couple of games. Solskjaer's spoken really highly of him, says that he looks like, especially when he played in Europe last week against Partizan Belgrade, looked like the finished article already.
Yeah, I put a few names down on there. You got James, Rashford, Lingard, McTominay. McTominay's improved a lot. Williams was good. Xhaka. So there are a lot of young fellas. He has a young team, so he wasn't doing what Klopp did and a lot of the others playing a young team. That they were actually his best team, and it was a result that they needed, I think, at this particular stage, Richie. So they were good.
And he seems to have stumbled upon a system that works, because they were playing the regular four at the back, and he's now gone to playing three centre halves.
It seems to have suited them, and they've played better to get out of the position that they're in. You know, like last night's match was an important match for them, because if they get a defeat, it stops the little run they're on. But they played well, and I'd say that would be their best. That would be their best team. And Chelsea were okay. But
Chelsea were playing like a side who were challenging in the league, and
it didn't mean as much to them. Exactly. I think Solskjaer needed that result last night to get going again, and they deserved it and played well.
Top four is going to be the main aim for Manchester United again this year. Did it look like a side that can crack the top four?
Well, they've a lot. It's possible, but they've a lot to do, Richie. You know, like there's a lot of season to go. They've won a couple of matches, but I don't think they're near the top four. But there again, you see the top four. If you look at them, Spurs are not doing their stuff. Arsenal are not doing their stuff. So it's
Leicester are doing their stuff.
Leicester doing their stuff, exactly. So it's leaving it open, like it did a few years ago for Leicester when Leicester won the league. Remember, all the top, what we regard as the top teams
fell away.
So the teams that we expect to be the top six are not quite the top six that we'd expect them to be. So it gives them an opportunity to catch up on them and to get in the top four. But they've a lot to do.
Yeah. Spurs is one of those sides mentioned falling away. Again, we're in the situation whereby it's the players who are running out of contract, and they allowed this situation to fester, and it's kind of coming home to roost a little bit.
It doesn't happen overnight, Richie. It's because things haven't been right. It's
2, 3, 4 year thing.
And it's caught up on them. And it was amazing, because last week we read that I think Rose was responsible, along with other players, to bring Pochettino out for a meal. You know? Now, I don't see how that's going to be any good whatsoever. Like, if you go back in the old times, could you imagine the Manchester United bringing Ferguson out for a meal when things are not going well, Richie?
West Brom players or Rovers players never bring you out for dinner, John?
No, I've never asked. but what I'm saying is that the manager shouldn't be mixing with players. And that, like, what he was doing it for, I'm sure, was for the right reasons in his own head, Rose, was that to show everybody we're together. But the best place to show everybody together,
play well,
is on the pitch. Get out and play well. And obviously, players are not together, Richie, at Spurs, because you got Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Eriksen, all running out of contract. Dele Alli's not kicking the ball. Rose himself has made...
Rose nearly went in the summer.
In the summer, you know what I mean? So things are not good there. And I don't think it's all Pochettino's fault, because you have the chairman who's the boss, and I think he's allowed the contract situation to happen. But if you're sitting in the dressing room with four players like Alderweireld, Vertonghen and Eriksen in the same dressing room, you know they're not really... couldn't have the heart and soul in the club because they want to go. And I know from my own experience playing football, to win things, everybody has to be pulling in the right direction. And that is not the case at Spurs. And ultimately it manifests itself on the pitch, and that's what's happened to Spurs. Despite the fact that they got a goal lead last week in the match again, Liverpool were very good, and Liverpool were well-worthy winners by the end of the match.
They wore them down, Liverpool, yes, in the end. Speaking of winning things, I want to talk about, because in the football show later on with Dan, we're looking ahead to the FAI Cup final this coming Sunday, Dundalk and Shamrock Rovers. Rovers were... stereotypically the cup side back in the day. You helped foster that relationship with the trophy and the club.
No, I didn't actually, Richie. That was well established before I.
No, but like you played your own part in it as well. Like
we did. But I was a late comer. I mean, I followed and watched the Rovers, the great Rovers team with Paddy Code, Nolly Payton, Paddy Ambrose, all these great players. I mean, to be fair, they were a much better team than the team I had when we did win it in 1978. But we wouldn't have been one of the great teams, not like the Paddy Code team of that particular time.
What are your
but we
memories?
did win it.
Yeah. What are your memories of that occasion?
I remember it well, actually. It was my first year, my first season back with Rovers, and we had Sligo. Sligo had a good team. I think they had a few English lads playing for them at that time, and I think we beat them 1-0 with a Ray Tracy penalty. A lot of controversy about it, Richie.
There's a friend of yours by the name of E. Dunphy saying we were awarded a penalty. It was a dodgy decision. I think referee John Carpenter got this call wrong. I felt sorry for Sligo. The couple of great pros in the team, Tony Fagan and Chris Rutherford, experienced, big-hearted fighters, the kind of men I'd laboured with for 17 years in England. He feels that you robbed Sligo on that particular day.
I don't believe that. I think it's very easy for anybody, including Eamon, to say it. Well, you know, it was a bit of a dodgy penalty, but we got it.
Yeah.
I didn't see Eamon running to the referee to change his mind on the day.
Doing Robbie Fowler now.
Actually, with the Sligo supporters, there was no controversy about if it was a penalty.
Yeah.
What happened is there was about 4 minutes overtime in the first half.
Okay.
But I kept saying to people afterwards, but Sligo could have got a penalty in the 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It did go 4 minutes. It was an injury, but we went 4 minutes. But I think the penalty was actually a penalty, and Ray, I think it was Ray, was involved in it and scored it himself. But the controversy from Sligo, because John Carpenter was the referee, and any time I went to Sligo afterwards, have you got John Carpenter with you today? But it did go 4 minutes overtime in the first half.
Yeah.
But that's what they were complaining about. But I kept saying to the Sligo people, well, you could have got a penalty in the 4 minutes. But they didn't. So we went on to win it.
Yeah. Great day though.
Good day.
Yeah. Meant a lot to you as a manager at the time.
Oh yeah. Well, to win the cup, I mean, the league and the cup was the big thing. Well, it still is, I think.
Of course, and Dundalk is there on Sunday going for the treble as well.
Yeah. They've won it a few times, haven't they?
They have, yeah. The Rovers haven't won the cup since '87, so it'll be a huge occasion for them to manage to do it.
A good crowd, that I think.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed there will be. John, thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks, Richie.
Cheers. Let you go back to trick or treating. We'll be back with more from Connacht after this.
Join that conversation. Text us on 53106. Texts cost 30 cents.
At Lexus, we have always anticipated the future, relentlessly pushing the boundaries of beautiful design and innovative technology, so you're ready for what's ahead. Introducing the new Lexus ES. Our executive saloon combines powerful, self-charging hybrid technology with an exceptional driving experience and the luxury that you expect from a Lexus. Test drive the new ES